Yes, class. Good evening. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Aisha and Aram, just stay after the class. You have your exam this week only, no? On 17th, I believe. And apart from this, laws of motion is also coming. So I'll brief you with it. How much you people have done on your own for the exam? 17th is on Saturday. 17th ko ya 18th ko? When do you have your exam?
17th.
17th, Saturday. So Friday we need to have an extra class. Okay, I'll discuss the timing for the extra class with you. Let's first start with this lesson. And the extra class of this lesson, you people can, others also can have it, Maha and Fatima. So cross product we had seen, we have to make a determinant. Revision of it, let's do with the help of question only. See, A vector is I cap plus J cap minus 2K cap. And B vector. Your other papers have started? Aram and Aisha? Other subjects?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. And you both, Fatima and Maha, what about your exams? Have they started in the school?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. No, they haven't started.
Ma'am, physics exam will be tomorrow.
It's tomorrow?
Yes.
3 lessons are coming, no? For you. Laws of motion are not coming for you.
No.
Okay, so from this third lesson, if you have any doubts, you can stay after the class, Maha, and you can ask. And same goes with Fatima also. Okay. This is I cap minus J cap minus 3K cap. So we have to find a unit vector that is perpendicular to both. Unit vector perpendicular to both A and B. Then you have to find the area of parallelogram. Last class, no, we had seen having A and B as adjacent sides, right? Now we had seen we have to form a determinant, the complete determinant system to solve it. See, for solving this unit vector that is perpendicular to both A and B, how to find out if a vector is perpendicular to both of it? You take out the cross product of it. Whatever is the cross product, that will give you, and that magnitude will give you the area of the parallelogram. Half of it will give you area of triangle. So for anything, we need to find out the cross product. So that way it will be a revision also, and a question will also be done before we start with projectile motion. A cap, J cap, K cap. So relative velocity we will not do because relative velocity is deleted from your syllabus. And also error analysis is also deleted. Though we have done it in the class, do not revise it for your exam. So this is what? Now coefficients of all these three we'll put. This is what? I cap plus J cap minus 2K cap. So coefficient of first vector you write first. You do not shift the order. If it is A cross B, you write A first, coefficients of A first in a row and then B. So this is 1, 1 and minus 2. Coefficient of B, this will be 1, minus 1 and minus 3. Now what did I tell you? To solve this, we exclude the table of I cap to get the coefficient of I cap. What are we left with? We are left with these 4. You move obliquely downwards, minus obliquely upwards. That's the way we solve the questions. So A cross B will be what? For I cap, I'll get 1 multiplied by minus 3. That will give me minus 3. Minus obliquely upwards. So minus 1 into minus 2 will give me 2. then minus j cap. For j cap, we will now exclude the row of j. So what are we left with? 1 multiplied by minus 3 obliquely downwards minus 1 multiplied by minus 2 obliquely upwards. So this becomes minus 3 minus 2. Then you write plus k cap. Remember, for j cap, you always write minus. I have told you in the last class as well, for j cap, always write minus. Because you
Ma'am?
then have to reverse the order. Yes.
Ma'am, for I cap, isn't it minus 3 minus 2 cap? Minus 2?
For I cap, minus 1 into minus 2 will be positive 2, no?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now the last is left, I cap. Now k caps is left. So you just focus on these 4. So obliquely downwards minus upwards. First you go in this way and then do not shift your order on your own way. That's why this negative sign has a significance. We use negative sign only when we use this type of direction. Otherwise you can write positive and you have to then reverse it. So that time we forget it. But if you just add negative sign, rest of the procedure remains the same. So I suggest you to put a negative sign and go the way we have been doing. This becomes 1 into minus 1 is minus 1 minus 1 into 1 will give 1. So now determinants function is over. Now simple mathematics is present. What is left? Minus 2 minus 3 minus 5 I cap. This is 2 minus 3 minus 1. So that becomes plus j cap minus 2 k cap. Now this is what? This is A cross B. So if you find the magnitude of A cross B, this will be minus 5 whole square plus 1 whole square plus minus 2 whole square under root. Fine class, whenever you have to find out the magnitudes of the vectors, take the coefficient, square it and add it. All right, this way you will get the magnitude. So what are we left with? This is 30, no? 25, 4, 29 and 30. You will get here 30 units. Just write units because you don't know what's the unit over here. And that is the area of the parallelogram. This is the area of parallelogram. And just in case had the question been asking you, so this term that we are getting minus I cap plus j cap minus 2k cap, this is a unit vector that is perpendicular to both the vectors. When you take the magnitude, that gives you area of parallelogram. And when you divide the area of parallelogram by 2, you get the area of triangle, which will be root 30 divided by unit. This will be not units, it will be unit square. This will be unit square. Whatever it is, meter, centimeter, accordingly you can set up. So maximum under cross products only this can be asked if it is asked from geometrical portion. Otherwise, just remember this cross product. So note down this question, then we'll start with angular projection. What about you, Abdullah? What's the status of your exams and syllabus?
Ma'am, I have on 4th October physics.
Okay, October. So you have time. Just let me know your syllabus, Abdullah.
Okay, ma'am.
Maha and Fatima, will you be able to give the test today? Because you have your exam tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a very short test though. 3 questions are only there. Okay, Abdullah. Okay. By that time, I think all these chapters will be covered. Exact date, do you know?
Yes, ma'am. 4th October.
Okay, okay, okay. Done? Yes, class? Done? Or are you people writing? Okay, scroll up a bit.
Done, ma'am.
If anybody is writing, just stop me. Okay, otherwise let's start with your projectile motion. See, there are certain conditions for any motion to be called as a projectile motion. But those conditions will exceed the class today, that I'll discuss later, because those are for your knowledge from examination perspective, especially because these two girls are having their exam tomorrow. So I'll directly start with projectile with angular motion. That we have to start. See, angular projection includes what? Projectile motion means there will be a component of velocity along y-axis, there will be a component of velocity along x-axis. Acceleration will be having its component along x-axis, along y-axis. Now there are certain conditions for any body to be called as any motion to be called as a projectile motion. You just do not say this type of motion is known as projectile motion. You see this diagram, you must have seen this figure. This way, balls or any object must have been thrown. So that is not exactly what is projectile motion. For example, I have thrown a ball and the ball covers a trajectory like this. This is a little semicircular form. That is not what we say projectile motion. For any object to be covering a projectile motion, there are certain conditions. Acceleration along x has to be 0. Acceleration along y has to be constant. Initial velocity has to be this. There are certain conditions that I'll tell you in the next class. But let us just focus on the derivation of the trajectory, path of trajectory. Because otherwise it won't get completed today, as you people have to appear for your test, and test also got cancelled. First it had to occur on Wednesday, then Friday's class got cancelled. So ultimately we are having it today. So that's why half an hour so on time is left. Let us just do these things. I'll tell you this in the next class. At least let us do this much, that you people are able to solve this. See, projectile motion, more or less, the motion covers in this manner only that I had shown you. But there are certain conditions for which we say a motion has covered. There is a case of horizontal projection also, where no angle is found. Now, what I'm referring to is, let's say a ball is there. Now the trajectory. Trajectory means what? Trajectory means the path covered. For example, if I say this pen, this has moved in this way. So what is the trajectory of the pen? Trajectory means the path covered, that it's a straight line. Trajectory is the straight line. So if I'll ask you what is the equation of trajectory, you will say x. Displacement is the trajectory. Trajectory means the path covered. Distance which you say. But trajectory means the motion you cover, the type of motion you cover. In distance, what do we have? Distance is the total path that has been covered. So you take all the initial and final points and you add all the distances that are covered. That quantity is known as distance. That is different. In case of displacement, we had seen this was only initial and final paths difference. Whatever is, or you can say shortest path. Trajectory means whatever type of motion is covered. If this covers a motion like this, in this manner, So I'll say trajectory is circular. I won't say distance is circular. That difference that we are getting when we are referring this circular path as trajectory and let's say 10 centimeters as the distance. This is where the difference arises between these. So here the trajectory means this is in this manner only. Now, why do we get this motion? That I'll tell you in the next class. Because a little theoretical background is necessary for it. Now it will be having certain velocity with which it has started. There will be a u velocity. Now what is the difference that we are getting in motion in 2D? Motion in 2 dimension, motion in a plane. What's the difference that it is arising? In 1 dimension also we threw a ball. We had thrown a ball in case of 1 dimension from the top of a roof, sometimes from the ground to the top of the roof like this. Difference arises that it was in straight line. It means the angle was either 0 degree or 180 degree. We had the sign convention also, we used minus or plus. That is why we use straight line. Straight line is a special case of vectors only. Remember when we wrote parallelograms law formula is under root a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. So if your theta was 180 degree or theta was 0 degree, you got a minus b and a plus b only directly. And that we have been using already. So the logic came out from there. Similarly, here also is the same logic. The motion that you use, simple equations for velocity and all the velocities or the body's direction, this is along a straight line. That's why we had it in motion in 1 dimension. Now we are having in 2D. 2D means 2 coordinates will change. 2 coordinates, one either it can be x or y coordinate will be changing. So it will be in the plane. For example, this is a plane that you have. Now, in this plane, if you are changing one of the coordinates over here, so one of the coordinates along this will also get changed. That is your y-axis also, it will get changed. Now, once you are having this particle only, you have this particle. Initially, what we had, the motion occurred like this. So only x coordinate got changed. There wasn't any change in the y coordinate. Right now, what is happening? If a particle is moving like this, so there will be a change in the x component as well as there will be a change in the y component. That's what you call as motion in 2D. If we say supposedly a particle is going in such a direction that length is also changing, breadth is also changing, height is also changing. So we say that is motion in 3D. Motion in 3D is not a part of our syllabus to do. It is done in higher classes, and studying motion in 3D is difficult also. Motion in 2D is there where 2 axes will change. Initially, we had the velocity along this direction. So only either x component, and when we did motion under gravity, y component got changed, the other remained fixed. Right now, you can see if this is certain velocity's value on the graph, this will be the value on the graph. Again, value got changed, value got changed. So we can see it is variable because it is in XY plane. Now we are referring to a special case where the angle is also made with one of the axes. Coming to the resolution of vectors which we have seen. This is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. Can you try it, Maha? Along this axis, what should I write on resolving this? Ux. What should I write this? Maha.
U cos theta.
U cos theta, perfect, because angle is made with the axis that is x-axis. So we refer cosine over there. Trigonometric function that arises whenever angle is made with the axis, that is cosine. So we write U cos theta for x. This is Uy. Fatima, can you tell? Fatima. What will be Uy? U is the original velocity.
Ma'am, sin theta.
Sin theta, U sin theta. Because you have now resolved the components of x and y. Now, one tedious task that comes in motion in 2D is that we have two coordinates changing. So you have to write all the equations separately for x-axis and separately for y-axis. When we had only motion in 1D, there was a single coordinate changing. So whatever you write, that will be under the single axis. Now what is happening? Now you have to mention x-axis separately, y-axis separately. Got it? So first we are finding out the equation of trajectory. Whatever is the path covered along x-axis, whatever is the path covered along y-axis, that we are trying to find out first. So equation of trajectory. Now along x-axis, we should write it down. X-axis, so you have to keep all the components of x-axis in mind. Displacement, you have to look only the displacement that is occurring in along x-axis. Velocity, only x-axis. Jo bhi ho raha hai x-axis ke along, that you just have to see if it is occurring along x-axis. You just have to write all the quantities occurring along x-axis. If that particular quantity is not occurring along x-axis, for example, let's say acceleration due to gravity, that will always fall downwards. Its direction is downwards only. That we have studied in the last class also. So if its direction is downwards, then it won't ever have a component of x. So you will write it acceleration as 0 as along the x-axis if it is needed or if it is not mentioned, whatever is the case. So here also we'll write the acceleration, we'll write the velocities. So ax we require, x we require, what else? Ux we require, and time we have. These are all the quantities that are needed. Now see here also specific acceleration is not mentioned. We have acceleration along the y-axis, that is acceleration due to gravity. There is no acceleration towards along the x-axis. Whatever is the trajectory covered, not this U-shaped or inverted bell-shaped trajectory you are able to observe, that is due to acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity is acting downwards, so you have it along this. I'll explain this point, I'll explain it later also. I'll explain it again also in detail. Right now just remember, you do not have any acceleration along x-axis. All the acceleration is along y-axis, which is acceleration due to gravity. So this will be 0. Displacements equation, ut plus half at square we can use. So this will be ux, t, let's write it down, ax and t square. Ux, we have just resolved this. This is u cos theta. So time will be what? See, if you have to find out time can directly be found from this equation. See, acceleration is 0. It means this term will be 0. So x will be equal to directly uxt. From here, ux is u cos theta into t. Time we have, this will be x divided by u cos theta. So along x-axis we have solved. Solved what? We have just written all the terms that were mentioned. Acceleration is 0, so x became equal to uxt, and ux is u cos theta, that we have seen due to resolution of vectors. First, tell me, do you agree till this part? Any doubts in x-axis? This is clear?
Yes.
Clear, or do you want me to repeat? Okay. If it's clear, then let's see components along y-axis. So along x-axis we have resolved. And also, you both, especially Fatima and Ma, since you're having your exam tomorrow, whenever, and this is generally for everyone also, whenever you're solving questions in projectile motion, if you are able to understand this fact that this question is from your chapter motion in a plane, then always solve everything along x-axis separately, along y-axis separately. If it's possible, write I cap, j cap, k cap, wherever it is possible, so that at the end you're able to solve it. Finally, you know how to add 2i cap plus 3j cap. You can tell the magnitude of 2i cap plus 3j cap by now. Under root coefficient square, adding it, that you have seen it. So whenever you have straight line, you can directly solve questions. But when you have motion in a projectile, We have motion and projectile, solve everything separately. Put unit vectors. Unit vectors will help your calculation because you know how to solve unit vectors. If not unit vectors, if you know angles, so solve it in polar form. You know parallelogram law. So if no angle is mentioned, solve it in terms of unit vectors. If angle is mentioned, directly solve it in polar form using your parallelograms law. This way, get your net resultant answer. But solve everything along x and y separately, even if you are having forces. I hope force will not be given because laws of motion is not coming. So forces should not be given to you. But whatever is the vector quantity, solve it separately. Now along y-axis, uy. See, uy we have just solved. Fatima only told us that was u sine theta. The velocity along the y-axis, acceleration along the y-axis. Aram, can you tell me what will be acceleration along y-axis?
Minus g.
Yes, perfect. Perfect answer, Aram. Minus g. Firstly, it will be g because it is acceleration due to gravity that is acting downwards. Motion under gravity we have studied. And secondly, it will be minus. Minus g. Minus in the sense minus is depicting that it is acting downwards. But either you can write minus u sine theta if you choose upwards as positive. I was about to choose downwards as negative, and Aram had also answered in that manner. So I have chosen the sign convention downwards as negative and upwards as positive. Now, why didn't I choose this when I was solving x-axis? Because there wasn't any motion along right or left or upwards or downwards. It was in one direction only, straight away, towards the right to towards the right. Here we are having two different directions because acceleration will be acting downwards, velocity will be pulling it upwards. That's why here we require the sign convention. Got it? So y will be equal to what? See, it will be equal to ut plus half at square. Now, acceleration, initial velocity will be y this time, acceleration will be y this time. And we cannot equate this equation to 0 because we know that this time acceleration is not 0. Had it been 0, our work would have been very easy. It would have been much easier than what we are trying to solve it, but we have to solve it. So uy is u sine theta t minus, because ay is g, half g t square. Why have I written minus? Because ay was minus g. So minus then g. Now one more thing we have, times equation also we have found with the help of x-axis equation. Remember u cos theta divided by, x divided by u cos theta. This we had obtained, t is equal to x divided by u cos theta. Let us put in this. So y will be equal to what? U sine theta. Time is x by u cos theta minus half g t square. So x square u square cos square theta. From here, u sine theta divided by u cos theta. Sine theta by cos theta will give you tan theta. So this is finally, ultimately, we have arrived to the equation of trajectory for angular projection. This is x tan theta minus gx square divided by 2u square cos square theta. This is double differentiation. This is the equation of trajectory. You have equation for time of flight. You have equation for the range of motion. These three things are very necessary. So first quantity was this, which you have to note it down. Then we'll calculate time of flight. See, time of flight means what? Time of flight means the time taken by the projectile to move from the initial point to the point where the motion is ceased. Means at one point, if you start the motion, let's say at this point you have started the motion. This is the total trajectory. Trajectory we have understood. Trajectory means the type of path covered, not exactly the distance. Path covered, basically path that has been followed, and projectile you call the object that has transferred. Be it a ball, be it a bullet shot from the gun, it can be. So time of flight means the total time that it occurs. For example, and here you do not consider any other term. For example, let's say at t is equal to 0, I have started the timer. I have from the gun, a bullet has been dropped off. So when the bullet reaches the ground, let's say the total time taken is 10 seconds. So that is time of flight. Before the projectile lands, what was the time duration when during the whole journey? So that you call as the time of flight. So time of flight is what? Time taken the project. Time taken by the projectile to move from origin to the point where motion is stopped. That is the complete entire time of flight. T that we were using, that was different. That was for X separately, that was for Y separately. This is time of flight. This is specifically adhered to this motion only. Time that we had taken above t, that was u x divided by u cos theta, that was not the time, complete time taken by the projectile. That was time for a particular instant. If you put t is equal to 0, you get the initial moment. If you put t is equal to 5 seconds, you get what is the time during the interval 0 to 5 seconds. Time of flight means this total. It cannot be variable. If it is 10 seconds, it will be 10 seconds. And that is what is meant by time of flight, and what's the difference between time of flight and what you have studied normal time. So see, what was your equation along y-axis? Uy t plus half ay t square. Now here, if the particle starts from this point and lands up to this point, before landing or when the point or whenever your projectile is landing, will there be any motion along the y-axis? What will be the displacement along y-axis? 0. You have started from this point. You have covered this journey, you have landed here. So displacement along x-axis is there x. But what's the displacement along y-axis? Initial point is this only. Final point is exactly this. So this y-axis, this will be 0. Got it? And uy will definitely be u sine theta. Ay will again be minus g. Sign convention, it's up to you. You will get the exactly same answer. So difference only that will come over here. Instead of y, we'll be writing it as 0 because there is no displacement along y-axis. So this is 0 is equal to u sine theta capital T. Now since y is 0, time is time of flight, because y means when you put in y at 0, then your equation defines this journey. Y at 0 means you have landed, and when you land, the total duration we call it as time of flight. So now we can use this capital T to denote the time period. Fine, now you can use. Earlier that small t was different. I hope you are able to understand, not time period, time of. If you are still not able to understand between any part, ask me.
Ma'am,
I'll repeat it. Yes, Sarah. Say.
ma'am, the velocity will be 0 at maximum height or any point of the ball? The
Velocity will be
velocity.
0 at maximum point, maximum height. Maximum height. And that too along only y-axis. Remember here when we were doing motion under gravity, that time we have studied We had studied that at the highest point velocity is 0. Remember, we did this.
Yes.
So here also what will happen when the particle will be at this point, maximum height. So velocity along the y component will be 0. There will be a velocity left along x-axis that will push it to complete the motion. Otherwise, if it is 0, it will fall down. We won't get this complete trajectory. We won't get this complete path. So at highest point, velocity along y-axis will be 0. That velocity which we refer at 0 at the highest point, that is velocity at the along the y-axis, that component. X component will be left. U cos theta will still it will be left, and it will push the particle forward. That's why, and that when it will also become 0, the particle will ultimately land on the ground. Got it, Ira?
Yes, ma'am.
Minus half g capital T square. So from here we can get the value u sine theta t is equal to half g capital T square. 1t got cancelled. You have your equation. Time of flight is what? T is 2u sine theta divided by g. Please do not forget 3 formula. Time period or height, maximum height, and range of motion. Range of motion means this. If this is the path covered, so the total maximum distance that you're getting along x-axis, that is range of motion. That obviously I'll not be able to cover today, but especially for the girls who are having their exam tomorrow. These formula do not forget, and you can put and change the values of angle. Fine. And always remember, time of ascent is their time of descent. Ascent means here particle is ascending, then here particle is descending. So if you want to find out what is the time period at the half of the journey, or what is the time period for ascent or descent, half of it, just divide it by 2. T half will be t by 2, which is u sine theta divided by g. This can be time of ascent or time of descent. Because if it is time of ascent, see, if time of ascent is u sine theta divided by g, and time of descent is u sine theta divided by g. That's what I've told you right now. So ascent, descent, ascent, descent. Add ascent and descent, u sine theta by g plus u sine theta by g. You are getting 2u sine theta by g. So total time is divided into time of ascent and time of descent. Got it? So note this down as well. Range of motion, we'll do it on Wednesday only. Done. Done writing part.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the test is very short. Just appear for the test. Our topics we'll discuss it. So test is very short. I am sure you'll be able to complete it in 15 minutes. Just try.
Ma'am,
Serum.
for the extra class, are you free on Thursday?
Thursday, half an hour. For half an hour, I'm available. Between two batches, 12th class batches are there actually on Thursday. So Thursday, half an hour, we can have a class. At least we will get a revision for this. Yes, Thursday, let's do it. And for Friday also, please be available. Friday also, we'll try to complete it. Okay. Timings for IST, it is 8:30 to 9. So for you people, what will it be? 5 o'clock?
6?
6 o'clock?
6
7?
o'clock.
Yes, okay. 6 o'clock. 6 to 6:30. At least the major portions of this lesson we can complete it in half an hour. And laws of motion Friday को पढ़ लेंगे. ठीक है? Fine, Aram?
Okay, yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes, Aisha.
ma'am, I can't join on Friday.
Okay, Friday. Then Saturday is your exam only.
Ma'am, if you're free in the morning of Thursday.
Mornings are difficult. Mornings are difficult, and I have the batches.
Uh,
So Wednesday, let's see. It's Monday today, no? Tuesday, tomorrow also.
yeah, how
Tomorrow we
about
can
tomorrow?
have for half an hour. Tomorrow again we can have class for half an hour. Because the same batches occur on Tuesday and Thursday for the 12th classes. So tomorrow exactly that 6 to 6:30 for you people, 8:30 to 9 for me. We can have Tuesday and Thursday at least. If you're not available on Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
So tomorrow you both are available, Aram? Tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's fine.
Yes, ma'am. Tomorrow is fine.
Okay, fine. If it's possible, I'll try to make it from 5:30 to 6:30. If it's possible, if it can be happen for the other batch as well, because 12 standards are having their board examinations. No, otherwise 8:30 to 9 is there, means 6 to 6:30. Okay, Fatima, I've received yours. Others also quickly submit. You have your next class also. Quickly do it.
Ma'am, can I do it?
Yes, you can leave. Abdullah, you're not on the group, no? Just take my number. Send it on it. I'm sharing my number. Aisha, you can also leave. Maha, you've already sent on WhatsApp.